Hello, Mindy and I want to talk about the power of storytelling, and we want to use the framework of VUCA. So Mindy, tell us what VUCA is and why it's important to us to use.
Yeah, sure. So VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So this is a term that was coined by the military for in analyzing strategic leadership. And what they found is that when these elements are present, it's when you really develop character and skills and resiliency. So it's since been sort of taken over by the business world. And we look at how individuals grow in their leadership when these things are present.
Thanks, Mindy. So what we want to do is offer you an opportunity to reflect on time of VUCA. I know as I reflect back in my career, in my journey of leadership, VUCA was always present. An element of VUCA was always present during times of change and transition. And in those times, looking back, I can see where a skill or character was developed. So we're going to offer that, and Mindy's going to share her example of her story of VUCA.
Yes. So when I first heard of the term VUCA and it was explained to me what it was, I had a very clear example of a time where that was present. So particularly the complexity and the ambiguity. So a few years ago, I started working for a small healthcare organization that had just been acquired by a larger organization. And there was no clear vision or direction from leadership. Really, nobody knew what they were doing or how they were going to mesh these two companies. So really, we were just a bunch of people running around trying to figure things out and trying to do things on the fly. And then another added level of complexity was my role as a client-facing person. So I had to keep our clients happy. I was the one managing that relationship. So I had to put forward this front of, hey, we've got it all together. We can deliver those things we said we'd deliver. No problem. And the meanwhile, behind the scenes, it was just a hot mess, basically. You know, there's a lot of political complexities with the leadership and who had what role and what systems would be used and how would we transition those systems, and, you know, teams fighting. So there was a lot of this going on that created a lot of stress for me. And I look back in that time and I would never want to go back there. I didn't sleep. I did a lot of happy hours, a lot of smoke breaks, all of that. But I look back at it and I appreciate it now because the level of stress I'm able to handle. So my resiliency levels are very high. So a lot of situations that are not that stressful for me because of my time in that environment. I also realized that I had the ability to create structure where there was none present, and the ability to build processes, but also let them go and build new ones when that one was no longer serving you. So I can walk much more comfortably in ambiguity now. I'd also developed my customer facing skills, like how to communicate with them, how to set expectations, how to deliver hard messages. Also, the internal aspect of building relationships with the internal teams, because they were the ones that got to get things done for you. So there was a lot that I developed from that experience that I'm very grateful for today. But I hope I don't do it again.
Yeah, understandably, with a lot of smoke breaks and happy hours, now is, you know, took a toll.
Yes.
What I actually want to lift something, because listening to you share that, it reminds me of what we've been doing together with our company over the last 2 years. You know, COVID and the pandemic totally transformed the way we deliver services. We went from like 80% in person to 90% virtual. And you were critical leader in helping us transition our delivery of our services and being more structured, more organized, more just what you have to do if you're going to deliver digitally. and virtually. So thank you for going through hell to build resiliency and those organizational skills. I'm curious though, what you would name specifically this last year where we doubled our size of our business, brought on more team members. Like, what would you say it maybe is one or two strengths based on the skill, character, resiliency that you would lift? You would say, man, I've been really contributing this, Scott, to our business.
Well, I think I've been contributing the structure piece, like thinking through how do we build structure for our organization? What would that look like? And building some processes that weren't there. I think so with COVID, there's uncertainty, there's ambiguity, there's complex, there's all of that. And we experience that again in our business. And I think that I'm even developing new skills through that, particularly around communication and communicating with different communication styles or behavioral styles, like understanding what it will take to communicate with somebody respectfully, and in a way that they can receive what you're saying, and you can, but it requires being some like openness from yourself as well. So kind of developing in that area, in addition to adding some of my strengths. I would say that yes, there have been stressful times, but because of my resilience, it didn't feel as stressful to me.
I'm curious, what do you see as the vision? Because you named vision, the lack of vision in that previous organization, as like, why are you compelled to bring all that goodness here?
Well, vision is, where are we going? What's at the end of the path that we're traveling down? Because if we have that, then all of the steps to get there, the processes, the way of getting there can be defined if you have a clear picture of where you're going. And I think if we have that, I feel like I can really walk in my strength, which is saying, this is how we're going to get there.
Great.